Jasper's on the front porch singing old familiar song. The tractor's in the barn and the pastor's freshly mown. Looking through the screen door, the aroma draws you in to the heart of the home where old memories begin. The heart of the home, she's calling you in. Cherie's in the kitchen, cooking with her friends, sharing recipes together, stories and songs, making new memories, the heart of the home.
Wow, welcome to Heart of the Home, away from home but not very far from home. Now, Charlene, my bubbly co-host on North Georgia Now, yes. You can answer this question. Regina, you can answer this question. Poor Danny Jones from Singing News has no idea what we're going to slam him with. What's Cherie Martin's favorite thing to make for dinner?
Reservations.
Reservations at a great restaurant. And we are in a wonderful, wonderful old inn in Jasper, Georgia. We're at the Woodbridge Inn. Now, the Woodbridge Inn is 2 minutes from your office and about 4 minutes from my office and maybe 5 minutes from your house.
Close as I want it to be.
Regina, we have had so many wonderful meals here. We've had so many wonderful memories here. My cooking for the public started here 38 years ago. I got a job when I left Atlanta. I was the baker here. And at that time, my last name was Baker. Well, I worked for Willie, who was a Czechoslovakian. He had gotten this, maybe as a joke for a wedding present. His mother-in-law gave him a job. She bought him the Woodbridge Inn. They opened the doors, had no idea what they were doing. They hired me to bake. I had no idea what I was doing, but together we kind of muffled through it. And I was here through 4 owners. I was here through trying times. There were some trying times, and now 30 years of success. 30 years. Joe and Brenda have been here. There's a little German flair going on here now, and there's a home time flair. You know, that's the thing. This is, when you get here, you feel like I've arrived, I'm at home, and that's the cool thing about it. Now, we know a gentleman, when he comes here, rather than staying in the lodge, where does he choose to stay?
He chooses to stay upstairs because he says it's his home away from home, and if he can't sleep in his own bed, he just soon sleep in this one.
Right. Well, when we brought Danny over for this morning show, we should have told y'all to come last night, because there's a deal going on here for $50. You could have come over and spent the night and hung out, and we could have brought you here to dinner last night. There's a great menu going on, and with Valentine's Day coming on, now does Charles take you out for Valentine's Day?
He usually does. He usually does.
And I love to come here. What do I have? Flounder. Always. Always, you know.
And your spinach salad.
And my spinach salad. My spinach salad and lemon pie.
The best.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Life is short, eat dessert first. Yes. We will be having some of that dessert today. Now, Danny, have you ever been to the Woodbridge Inn before we brought you today?
First time.
Well, it is a place with such a history. Regina, how many years was it the Lenning Hotel?
My goodness, probably 40 years at least. At least, maybe.
And did they
longer.
have kind of a family style fare
They
then?
did, especially on Sunday. You know, especially on Sunday. I remember it as being a hotel in addition to the restaurant where we would come, and you know how back then they didn't have photography studios. Olin Mills would come here in Chattanooga, and we would come as children and have our pictures made here. You know, buy a coupon or something and bring us out.
And the walls are covered with tributes to people who were here early. And there are some old photos of the building. Now, the building has not changed greatly. The outside has. Remember, it had the old, what do you call that paper? Siding. It was some kind of siding on it.
I'm too young for that.
I know it. You are the baby. Don't remind me. She reminds me of that every morning when I show up worried about my old wrinkles.
I'm not as bad as Bill.
That's right. That's right. But this has been part of Jasper history.
Yes.
I used to cross that bridge in a '66 Chevelle. Well, right now the bridge is under repair, and it's been under repair. It's actually been closed, what, about 6 months?
Yes, it's well before the Marble Festival. I think they closed it, and that was in early October, so yeah, it's going on 6
And when
months.
I told you to meet me at the Woodbridge, did you think, is that goofy lady, did she think I'm going to jump across that bridge?
Well, since I've got to know you, I knew to expect anything. So we just follow the smell of the restaurant.
That's right, that's right. And one of the things you will always smell here is good soup and great desserts. Now, years ago on Sunday afternoon, you might smell Brenda's mom coming up the, oh, wonderful. She would drive from Cannon, Georgia, with this homemade pound cake. Now, nothing is better than a homemade pound cake unless we talk about Doreen Lee's chocolate cinnamon cake. That's a recipe we're going to share today. We went through the archives last Saturday. I spent all day Saturday looking at old shows and choosing recipes that I started with that I learned here. And we have chosen chocolate cinnamon cake. It is lethally sweetening. It is very chocolate, and I think I made a statement. It's as rich as a man with a really good 401k today. You do not want a man with a 401k. You want one with about 600 acres of land in South Georgia?
Easily.
Easily. That's right. Because the 401k is gone. It's out of here. Right now we're going to take a break and we're going to go to a segment that was shot several years ago. It is Angela and I doing chocolate cinnamon cake. Now we want to show you a photo. When I started working here, Angela was 2. Angela is now, how old is Angela now?
We don't talk about that.
She isn't 2 anymore.
She says she's 29, but Denny, how old are you?
39 plus tax.
39 plus tax, okay. I think Angela may be related to you. When we come back, we're going to talk about the singing news and what you do to promote gospel music, what you and I are doing to promote gospel music, and what we all need to do to promote local businesses. The Woodbridge Inn being one of those businesses that is like everybody else. These are tough times, guys, but we've got some deals for you. We have some great rates on staying here. We have some great menu items we're going to share with you. So sit back now, get your pencil and paper, because you're going to learn how to make a lethal chocolate cinnamon cake. Hi, I'm Cherie Martin. Tonight on Heart of the Home, I promised you a rich, rich recipe, and wow, is it rich. I've been eating this cake for about 30-something years. You were 2 years old.
No, because I'm only 29.
Well, okay. My daughter Angela was only 2 the first time I had this cake. Gosh, does that make me or you old?
Neither one.
Okay, neither one. It is a rich recipe. This was submitted by Doreen Lee. She's from Kankakee, Illinois. And she got the recipe from, I think, a junior league cookbook there many, many years ago. Rich, rich, rich chocolate cinnamon cake. Rich and good. Now, I made my first one last week, and Angela's going to go over the ingredients for you.
There are 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of butter, a 1/4 cup baking cocoa, 1 cup water, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 eggs, and 1 teaspoon of salt.
Now, if y'all have been tuning in to Heart of the Home, we all know I'm not much at measuring, but I have got the most precious measuring spoon that I got as a gift today from Corks and Crumbs in Ella J. My little buddy, Lori, brought it to me. Angela, what's on there? A rooster.
Chickens, and they're so cute.
They are precious. I love this. And I'm going to have to visit that shop. Now, we're going to add, we are actually measuring, aren't we? We measured today.
We
I
don't
never
do that.
measure. Well, we're measuring today because this cake is pretty precise, and we need to measure this. Okay, Angela, we have combined 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar. We sifted that. And now we're melting our cup of butter with our cocoa and our water. We're going to let that melt good, and then we're going to pour it over the dry ingredients, and then we're going to add our buttermilk and our cinnamon and our vanilla and our eggs.
And our soda.
Tiny bit of soda, tiny bit of salt. It's going to be ready to bake. This is a simple recipe using plain flour.
And the chocolate's already smelling so
Oh
good.
man, this chocolate smells great. This is what makes this cake rich. Butter and chocolate, kind of like a man with a 401k and a state retirement. Now,
And
that's
an
pretty
out-of-town hobby.
Oh my gosh, that's rich. That's rich. Now this is what, a 10 by 15 pan?
Sure.
It's a little bit larger than normal, and that's the size pan that this recipe requires. It's going to be in the oven for 30 minutes or until a toothpick put in comes out dry. Do not overbake it. My first one, I did overbake it, so watch it closely. Now this rich, rich recipe for our icing is, Angela, the amount of butter is 1 cup of butter, 1 bag of 10x sugar,
1/4 cup of cocoa,
1/4 cup of cocoa.
6 tablespoons of milk, a teaspoon of vanilla,
That's it.
boil it in a saucepan.
That is it, guys, and it is so simple, and you pour it over the cake hot. Man, I think this deserves the rich and powerful. Ooh, man, it's good. These walnuts came from Harris Farm, and they're big chunks of walnuts. You can use pecans, you can use walnuts. I just happen to have a ton of walnuts we picked up out on the ground and shelled. Oh, wow.
Yummy.
Wow, yummy. Just a hint of cinnamon and a whole lot of rich chocolate. Now, what do you think of that?
I think that looks yummy enough to eat.
I
Let's
think that
dig
looks
in.
yummy. I think Doreen had a good idea. This was a great recipe, guys. Angela, I promised you this was going to be rich and hot.
Oh,
Dory!
Hey.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Home from college.
I smelt this all the way in Atlanta, so I had to come up.
Okay, good idea. Tori, there you go, honey. The third generation gets the cake. 3 generations, a great recipe. Remember, submit us your family recipes to heartofthehome@etcmail.com. See you every Thursday night, guys. Bye-bye. It's great to have you home, sweetheart. Well, we are back, and I know you love that recipe. Let me tell you about that recipe. It will haunt you. If you make it in the afternoon, give it away. Have you one slice and give it away. Because when you go to bed at night, you just think about it. It is a great recipe. It is a great recipe to share. Have you one slice and give that bad boy away. Now, we have brought a man here. I keep hearing your tummy growling, and I said, eat dessert first. Life is short. We're going to be having some dessert soon. But Danny, we came here to work. We're working, talking about singing's coming up. You actually featured our March 21st singing in Jasper in the Singing News. How do people get in touch with you to let folks know where they're going to be?
Well, Cherie, there are 2 ways really. Number one, you can go to our website, www.singingnews.com. You can call our 800 number, which is 800-255-2810.
Okay.
That's the easiest 2 ways. And of course, too, at a concert, especially in the Southeast, we have representatives at concerts all the time. So drop by our table at a concert, do a subscription, pick up a free copy of the magazine.
How much fun was it for him to be at a table next to us in Gainesville?
Well, I'm almost out of therapy now.
And the freebies that night that you got for doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I really
when you
enjoyed those.
signed up for the Singing News, you gave us 2 CDs.
That's right. You got a little package of CDs that covered the whole spectrum of Southern gospel music, old songs, new songs, old groups, new groups.
Right.
Just a good way, especially to give an introduction of Southern gospel music to a friend who may have never experienced a concert.
Did
It's a
you
good
know
way to
there's
do that.
somebody out there that's never heard Southern gospel music?
I can't believe
I
that.
don't believe
I can't.
that.
No.
You know,
Well,
bless their
it's true.
heart.
It's true.
Bless their heart.
Exactly. And by the way, let me say this. All these years you've been doing this show, and you've been talking to me about coming here. The day I get to come here, you're not cooking.
But I'm making my favorite thing for dinner today, reservations at the Woodbridge Inn. And the Woodbridge Inn is going to bring us lemon pie that you will love.
Okay.
And then we're going to shoot another segment, and guess what we're going to have on it? We're going to have to entice people to stay tuned for that one. Bananas Foster. 2 of the things they are famous for. Now, you are famous for promoting something that I love. I love gospel music, and I worry about it because as the economy has taken some hits, and the older folks who were living on interest from money that they had hoped would last them their lifetime, has it been tough for them?
It has. One thing we've noticed too is the groups are having to be more selective in the dates that they are able to accept simply because of fuel expenses. Even though fuel has gone down.
Diesel hasn't gone down that much.
Right, it still hasn't gone down that much, and you can't pull into a truck stop and say Jesus paid it all and everything's taken care of. It's not. You know, they're just like everybody else. They have expenses that go on regardless of what's happening. So everybody's having to be a little more selective. Even us in the publication business, we're having to be very careful to watch what we are able to do each month. But fortunately, even though Southern gospel music has come through some rough times down through the years, God has always managed to carry us through. And unless something's happening that I'm unaware of, He still doesn't make mistakes.
No, and He is in control, and you and I know that.
Yeah.
We have stepped down on faith several times to promote gospel singings, and we would say, Lord, how are we going to do this? Because we don't sell tickets, we do love offerings. And like the one that we will have here in Jasper, March 21st, we are stepping out on faith one more time. We invite everybody to come. It will be at the Jasper Methodist Church. We have great seating, easy parking. It's wonderful. No ticket sales.
Right.
We want you to come and be prepared. If you can help us with a love offering, that is wonderful. If you can't, then we know that God will provide whatever we need. But most people are fair. And you know, we had said something. What's the average person put in a love offering? Maybe $3 to $4?
$3 to $4.
The average ticket is $14. So if we went to ticket sales, I worry about that in today's economy. I know it's very, very tough.
Right.
But the groups can't cut their rates too much with fuel prices.
Right.
So it's hard. It's hard on everybody.
Well, that's the first thing people ask now. Anytime I mention a singing that we're doing, is there going to be tickets? No. You know, we want everybody to come and give
Right.
what you can.
Right.
Help
Right.
what you can.
Right. Now, we've had the Joy Masters, and you go with Hayne Tatum to TNT Promotions quite often. You are there working at the Singing News booth. And I have to say a big, big thank you to you because you did a whole page with Matt's letter. This was very important. Matt has just become a diplomat, and we are so excited about that. And we hope in the near future there will be a full-page ad with a new picture of Miss Rita, Mr. Jimmy looking fit as a fiddle after his heart surgery, and Matt being part of that group now. So we want to talk a little bit about the changes in Southern gospel music. Everybody is still touring, but they do cut back just a little bit.
Sure.
They have to. And they have to look at, they can't, I used to look at some of their trips where they would kind of go out of their way, and I would think, why did they back up? You know, why didn't they plan it? So I think now they're planning a little differently.
They are. They're being more selective on their routing, trying to make sure everything's in a straight line as much as possible. But another thing that's going on, and this is a very good God thing, more and more of our artists are becoming much more dedicated to trying to be in their home church on Sundays, as well as spending quality family time. So they're really trying to get into a position where a group will only tour, say, Thursday through Saturday and make it home.
That's wonderful.
For church on Sunday, at least the Sunday night services.
Right.
And, you know, God will honor things like that. He's proven that time and time again.
Absolutely.
So, you know, over the next several years, I think you're going to see more of that in Southern gospel music. And as the economy improves, which it will.
It will.
It
Absolutely.
always goes in a circle.
Absolutely.
I think we're being prepared for a time when Southern gospel music can truly flourish because its artists are more dedicated to Him and more dedicated to living exactly what they taught.
Right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about Memorial Day singing that is going to be, I'm going to be there on Saturday. It's the only day I can be there. And the Carolina Crossmen will be there, the Diplomats will be there, the Dixie Echoes, for $5 per person. I mean, that is incredible. So we're going to talk about that when we come back. And Danny, honey, we're going to feed you a little bit. I keep hearing his tummy growl, you know? I keep hearing that tummy growl. We're going to feed this boy just a little bit because remember, life is short, eat dessert first. When we come back, we're going to share a little bit more of the Woodbridge Inn with you, and we're going to share a little gospel music with you too. So come back in just a second, guys.
When with the Savior we enter the glory land, won't it be wonderful there? Ending the troubles and cares of the story land, won't it be wonderful there?
Welcome back. Danny, was that not some of the finest gospel music you ever heard?
It was, but I'll tell you something else, Cherie. It was also the longest Diplomat song I've ever heard in my life. Look at here.
Because you're starving. You're starving.
I mean, we got a beautiful pie, crackers and spread, a pound cake, and we're listening to the Diplomat.
I know it. It's a tough thing. But let me tell you about this recipe. This is the cake recipe Miss Abby Sewell from Cannon, Georgia made for many, many years. Her daughter Brenda and her husband own the Woodbridge Inn. I can remember seeing her get out of her car with that cake on Sunday evenings. And believe me, I greeted her at the door and I'm like, Miss Sewell, I can take your cake. I can take it right to the kitchen and slice it. And that's exactly what I did. Now this recipe Brenda has been making ever since they bought the inn. I want you to taste that and I want you to tell me how good it is. And while you're tasting it, I may sneak a little corner here. Do you know, instead of a birthday cake, this is what I choose for my birthday every year? Oh my Lord, have mercy. Is that not good?
That's very good.
Is that not good? Now, we let you sneak a bite of the cheese dip. What did you think of this?
That was great too.
Charlene, have you tried that?
No, I
You want to
haven't
try
tried
it?
Go ahead.
This is a combination of several cheeses, some spices. I don't know what else is in it, but I can tell you it is addictive. When you come to the Woodbridge Inn, when you first are seated, they have this sitting there. And Regina, quite often have we eaten more of that than we needed and we took our dinner home?
Probably, yes.
Probably.
Yes.
That is delicious.
Now, you have done luncheons here, teas here, anniversary dinners, you have done wedding receptions.
Right, right, and of course our senior adult luncheon. You know, this was for many years we were able to bring our senior adults.
Danny,
here
don't look.
twice
He's not
a year
looking.
because there was enough space here to accommodate all of them. Now they come to us, and the crowd is, of course, it's gotten.
Lord, that is good.
But they love
Isn't
the
that good?
pie.
Did you
because
try
it
that?
is-
I
it's
did try that. That was
wonderful.
delicious.
Isn't it great? Oh, that's so good. Oh.
I have a fight on our hands here.
Now listen, we've been talking about cooking, and nowhere is there any better cooking than at a good Baptist church. And Danny, are you through with this lemon pie sugar?
No, actually I wasn't, but
Well,
go
listen.
ahead, feel free.
It is the best, and this family has been here for 32 years. I encourage you to come to Jasper and visit with them. Just cross the Woodbridge. It's going to be fixed very quickly, and if not, there are directions giving you just a little way down the road, make a turn, cross the railroad tracks, and there you are. We're at the Woodbridge Inn. We're saying goodbye for today with some great gospel music. Sit back and enjoy. I'm going to enjoy this pie.
Must be nice.
Jesus was so sound asleep. In deep despair they woke the Master. He calls the winds and the waves to cease. I want to stay in the boat with Jesus. I want to be close by his side. I know if Jesus is the captain, he'll make it safely to the other side. Storms of life are raging, and it seems there's no hope inside. Remember, Jesus has the answer. His touch can make your skies turn bright. I want to stay in the boat with Jesus. I